Hey guys, welcome to another video. I wanted to take a minute today and talk about deadlift bars. So I have a Texas deadlift bar here. I've had it for a couple of years, and when I was deciding which deadlift bar to buy, I couldn't find a really comprehensive video or article or anything to tell me like the ins and outs of a deadlift bar and like what makes one better to another or why you might prefer one versus another. So I want to take a minute today and kind of put out there at least my opinion, my thoughts, some of the specs that impact things, and just give you that information to have if you're trying to decide which deadlift bar to buy. So we're going to start out with what a deadlift bar is. Now if you're here, you probably already know what a deadlift bar is, but I'll go over it briefly. How it differs from a normal powerlifting bar, which I have down below here, is first, it's longer. Second, it's thinner in diameter, being 27 millimeters versus 28-29 millimeters of a normal power bar. It also doesn't have any knurling in the middle here, because if you're deadlifting, especially conventional, you have your shins in here. You don't want that knurling to scrape up against your thighs or your shins or your knees, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to talk about the Texas deadlift bar I have clearly the most experience with this one, owning it myself for a couple years and using it consistently over that course of time. So I have the black zinc coating with raw sleeves. They do offer a couple of different options, but this is the one I have. It's been great. The knurling is notoriously aggressive and sharp. It hasn't really bothered me much. A lot of people complain that it's too sharp. It might cut open your hands, but honestly, it's not that much different than like a freshly knurled Ohio powerlifting bar from Rogue. So I'm kind of used to that maybe, but that's just my opinion. It's not too aggressive. It's a good grip. It's not gonna slip out of your hands because it's too passive, that's for sure. Next, we have the sleeves on this Texas deadlift bar, and I'll go ahead and pull both these down this way. They're actually lined up on that end, but this deadlifting bar is about 6 inches longer than a normal powerlifting bar. My Texas deadlift bar is 91 inches long. That's about 7.5 feet roughly, and a normal powerlifting bar, most weightlifting bars are like 7 foot. So it's about half a foot longer, and that places the weights farther out from the center, making the bar bend more. And that's advantageous because when you're trying to deadlift, especially when you get up into higher weights, if you're pulling, gripping in the middle here, lifting, the weights are far out from the center of the bar is going to bend more. With the thin diameter of the shaft, the weights being farther away from the center, it's going to create more whip. So that's basically the basics of a deadlift bar. And when we compare like a Texas deadlift bar to a Rogue Ohio deadlift bar, or a Bells of Steel deadlift bar, or an Oki deadlift bar, most of the specs are the same. The diameter of all of the shafts that I've looked up are 27 millimeters, and that's the thinnest you can go legally for competition. So companies don't make deadlift bars thinner than that. Another thing is the knurling. They're all smooth in the center, like I mentioned, so you don't tear up your shins. Bells of Steel does offer a Sumo deadlift bar, which is very unique, but if you're an exclusively sumo puller, it could be beneficial. It has smooth knurling out where your shins are positioned in a sumo deadlift, so out wider. So it saves your shins from getting ripped up, and it has more knurling in narrower because with your feet out wide, you're able to grip narrower for some people. So but other than that, all the deadlift bars basically have the same knurl pattern. They have a wide gap. They have the powerlifting markings, so if you're setting up, you can position your shins in and around that. One thing on the ends of the shafts, the Rogue Ohio deadlift bar, the knurling goes all the way to the end of the bar, which people who train conjugate, use a lot of bands and things, they love the Texas deadlift bar because as you can imagine, if you're putting bands over the shaft, that knurling is going to eat away at them. They're going to tear your bands. So this Texas bar is great because it's smooth out here. It's not going to rip your bands up. It also has a wider beginning of the sleeve here. I'm not sure what exactly this is called, but it has the traditional Texas power bar sleeve with this thick part here, so you can lay a band over top there as well. But what this does as well is pushes the plates even farther away. So even though the total length of most powerlifting bars are roughly 7.5 feet, they're within an inch or so of each other. The loadable shaft diameter is what you're going to have to look at. If you take the total length and you subtract the loadable shaft diameter, that's where your first plate is going to be positioned. So that's going to tell you how far out your plates are going to be from the center of the bar. And the farther out it is, the more whip you're going to get, because like I said, all shafts being equal, the 27 millimeter diameter, it's not really going to affect the whip because they're all the same. So you have to look at where the first plate's going to be, and that's total length minus the loadable shaft. So the Texas Deadlift Bar pushes it farther away than all the other ones, which means you're potentially going to get the most whip out of that deadlift bar. That's why it's kind of the gold standard in powerlifting, and most federations use it in local national competitions if they do use a deadlift bar in competition. Another thing I'll say is the coating on the bar can affect the stiffness of the bar. So if there's a really thick like zinc coating or really thick Cerakote coating, it can make it a little bit stiffer. It's not super noticeable, but if you're going for every advantage possible, the best thing you can get is plates farthest out, minimal coating. So like a raw steel shaft, bare steel, and all companies do offer that. So basically, like I said, my opinion is, all things being equal, if you have a raw steel bar, shaft, and sleeves, it's all going to come down to how far the plates are out. And that is owned by the Texas Deadlift Bar. It pushes them farther out than all the other ones. So in my opinion, if you're going purely for performance, you're going to want to go with the Texas Deadlift Bar. And obviously, some other things might come into account. The price on all the bars are pretty similar. Texas Deadlift Bar ranges from $319 all the way to $384, and I'm not sure exactly what shipping comes out to. Probably most likely depends where you live. If you live in Texas, you can go pick one up. That's going to save you a lot of money. But in the same time, if you live in Ohio, you want to go pick up a Rogue Ohio Deadlift Bar, not going to have to pay for shipping. And the price on the Rogue bar ranges from $310 to $355, so it's around the same. And then the Oki Deadlift Bar, I don't even really know if they still make them. I think they do. I saw them on their website. The website does look a little outdated, so that's a little scary for me. And they only offer one option: bare steel shaft, bare steel sleeves. But I know that deadlift bar has been around a long time. A lot of people really like it. But basically, I would say performance-wise, you're going to want to go with the Texas. Rogue's customer service and everything is top-notch and probably better than all the rest if I had to pick one. So I'm going to say, if you want to be conservative and you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of performance, probably go with the Rogue Ohio Deadlift Bar. You'll probably get it shipped to you faster. And if you have a problem, I bet they fix it for you however best they could. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Leave a comment if you have an additional question about the Texas Deadlift Bar or any other one. If I know the answer, I'll be happy to help you out. So thanks for watching. Hope that was informative. And if you're looking for a deadlift bar, I hope it helped you make your decision. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.